Hey, VC brethren and sistren. Hey, I hope you all are well. Wanted to do a quick video. My wife's coming home in a few minutes, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna punch this sucker out. It's Friday, and I'm just in a good mood, listening to a lot of great music. And this is part of my rediscovering my collection series. I chose albums for this challenge that I haven't listened to in a while. A long time, some of them are just a few months, but it's still rediscovering them. So, all right, the challenge came through from Todd Guy, the Thrashing Zombie. It's got a cool channel. Go check it out if you haven't. Put the stuff below and all that good stuff. Now, the challenge was pretty cool because it's not just one idea. It's not just one thing. It's a whole bunch of deals. And so I thought, you know what? Challenge accepted. Here we go. First category. There's 10 albums, but the first category is the first 5 albums. And that is, where did I put my note? Albums. Albums I didn't listen to, or bands that I didn't listen to before being a part of the VC. And I have quite a few here, but I chose 5 in particular. I'm going to start out. After All. After All was a band, it's been around since early 90s. They're a Belgium band, and they're absolutely killer. I would say, yeah, it's thrash. It's straight up thrash. So if you like thrash, you will like this. I guarantee it. I learned about this from Scott Waters. I learned most of my albums from Scott Waters, but this one in particular I learned about from Scott Waters. And I probably haven't listened to this in probably 6 months or so. That's what I'm going to guess on that. So, next one, Philip Lynott. Another one, well, I would say Scott mostly, but I've seen Philip's solo stuff in other people's videos. I, of course, know about Thin Lizzy, listening to Thin Lizzy since the 70s. But I never listened to his solo stuff. I never owned any of his albums. So I was pretty stoked to get this one. It's got, this is his first solo album. And it's got Gary Moore, Mark Knopfler, even Huey Lewis. A lot of great stars are on this one. But yeah, I haven't listened to this in probably over 6 months. So that's going to be a fun spin. Next one that I haven't listened to in a while, but I learned about from the VC is Teenage Head. This one comes to you from my good friend Jex Russell. And oh my gosh, it's killer Canadian punk rock. Just good stuff here. And I haven't listened to this in quite a while. It's probably been about a year since I spun this one, but good stuff. I freaking love it. Speaking of freaking love it, Freakings. This one I learned about through Scott. Again, he turned me on to these guys. And yeah, they're thrash. Good thrash. I listened to it not too long ago. It was probably about 2 months or so since I heard this one last. But killer stuff there. And last one in that stack would be Holy Grail. I'm not sure if this was also from Scott. I do watch other channels, trust me. But I've seen it around the VC, probably Rob Safransky, if I'm remembering right. It's been a while, but yeah, I haven't heard this stuff in well over 6 months. The band member vocalist describes them as a modern band with a new twist of old school metal with death metal riffs, modern breakdowns, and power metal singing. I just think it's classic killer metal. That's all. I love it. Okay, next category. Category number 2 is an album that I wasn't sure I'd like the first time I heard it. Okay. That would have to be Striper. Reason is back in '84, I was not a believer. As far from being a believer. And I just thought it would just be religious, crazy, fanatic nut stuff. And maybe probably not that talented and all that stuff. I was very judgmental, pretty harsh on that. So, yeah, when I did listen to it, I was pretty impressed and loved them ever since. I got the round deal there with their color glossy promo deal. And then this one is their pressing that they corrected with the hand and all that. And I scored the one that they first printed that is jacked up where the hand and the names and stuff didn't come out on the bottom. So I got all three of those. I think this one's blue or something. Yeah, it's blue. So, boom. Anyways, that's that one. Okay, the next category is album that gets better after repeated listens. That for me would have to be Suicidal. Now, I love the song Institutionalized when it first came out in the 80s. We played it all the time. Oh my gosh, the Pepsi! All I wanted was a Pepsi. We loved it. It was so great. When I got the album, I was like, I don't know if I like this. So it grew on me though. And every time I listen to it, I like it a little more. And oh my gosh, to the point now I really love this album. So it took a while, but check that out. I really love this album now. So, I hate even showing this. Last two categories. Last one is album cover that I think has the worst cover art. Now this is in my collection because there's a lot of album covers that are horrible. But this is in my collection, and that is Blind Faith. Now, obviously you can see the reason why. She's clearly underage. She's a child, and I think that's very unclassy. I've always thought this was kind of crude and stuff, but you know, there's worse out there. There's Scorpion's Virgin Killer, which I think is disgusting as well. But yeah, it's been, oh gosh, it's been a couple of years since I listened to this. This is good stuff. This has Stephen Winwood, Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker. So it's a great album. And I guess there's another cover where it doesn't have that, but this is the original. Worst cover, in my opinion. And the last one is the best cover art. It's a final category, best cover art. In my collection, again, there's a lot of ones out there that I think are killer, awesome album covers. But this is in my collection, and that is Raw Power. Yeah! Check that out. That is so cool. That's the kind of stuff we drew back in high school. Artist is Vince Rancid. Rancid did a lot of great cover art back in the day. His artwork is just, it's just wicked cool. And yeah, this is Raw Power. It's the third album by the, I think they're Italian punk band. And it's pretty wild stuff. You have to really have a taste for this. But the artwork is pretty cool. It reminds me of, you know, the John Carpenter's The Thing kind of stuff going there. I think that's why I really love it. But yeah, so that's that. And I haven't listened to this in probably a year. Wow. So, okay, that's my 10 album challenge from Todd Guy, the Thrashing Zombie. Thanks for that challenge. That was kind of cool. I liked looking for the albums and figuring out which ones to show. And I could have showed a lot more. So, yeah, that was fun. Thank you. Take care, everybody, and God bless.